He was projected as a day 2 pick, yet sat through 137 selections before hearing his name called. A talented quarterback who broke records at Colorado, now heading to Cleveland with a 5th-round contract worth millions less than expected. But the question everyone's asking, was Shedeur Sanders' shocking draft slide about his talent or his last name? NFL insiders say Deion Sanders, one of football's most legendary figures, may have accidentally sabotaged his own son's NFL dreams. Today, we're exposing the behind-the-scenes drama that turned one of college football's biggest stars into the NFL draft's most controversial story. Multiple NFL executives expressed frustration about Deion Sanders' constant media presence during the draft process, noting how it complicated their evaluation of his son. Primetime didn't just support his son, he practically ran his draft campaign. He publicly named teams that should draft Shedeur, dismissed franchises he deemed unworthy, and appeared on Fox Sports to promote his son like a boxing promoter rather than a father. One high-level NFL executive admitted some of the things his dad said, "I think that weighed on people's minds." Sound familiar? It should. Back in 2004, the Manning family orchestrated Eli's draft destination. But there was one crucial difference. The Mannings worked quietly behind the scenes through certified agents. The Sanders family? They took their campaign to every microphone, camera, and social media platform available. Deion even told the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, "There are certain cities that ain't gonna happen. It's going to be an Eli. We ain't doing it." Media analysts widely noted that NFL teams feared they wouldn't just be drafting a quarterback, they'd be potentially drafting an entire media circus. The question that haunted draft rooms across the league. But the primetime shadow wasn't Shedeur's only problem. What happened behind closed doors during team interviews might have been even worse. Multiple team interviews became problematic for Sanders, according to several reports. When teams challenged him on football concepts or pointed out mistakes in his game film, Sanders struggled to respond appropriately. When coaches pointed out errors in his play, Sanders reportedly became defensive rather than receptive to feedback, a reaction that set off alarm bells for talent evaluators. NFL personnel consistently emphasize the importance of quarterbacks who can acknowledge mistakes and demonstrate a willingness to improve, areas where Sanders' interviews reportedly fell short. The pattern repeated with other teams. Multiple reports indicated that franchises came away with similar impressions about Sanders, talented but lacking the self-awareness needed at the position. According to one source, although a high-ranking decision-maker liked Shedeur, there was difficulty separating the other stuff from the physical abilities, with concerns about a flashy persona and his leadership style playing a major role. Sports Illustrated reported that in one pre-draft interview, when questioned about aspects of his game that needed improvement for NFL success, Sanders struggled to acknowledge areas needing change. This from a quarterback running Colorado's simplified college offense, a system that bears almost no resemblance to professional schemes that quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen must master. While other top prospects surrounded themselves with experienced agents, the Sanders family made a critical decision. They went all in on family. No certified NFL agents, no draft specialists. Just Deion, Shedeur, and brother Shiloh handling everything themselves. One executive said it bluntly, "I think he had some bad advice from his father. He needed a traditional agent like other players." Teams noticed immediately. Executives were frustrated by the chaotic communication process, describing a maze of channels that made simple scheduling nearly impossible. That last part might have been what Shedeur needed most, someone willing to tell prime time when to step back. Instead, the Sanders go-it-alone strategy likely cost Shedeur millions in rookie contract value and pushed him down to the 5th round. Within days of being drafted by the Cleveland Browns, the Sanders entourage was back in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. A simple community visit to a local school quickly became a PR disaster. Videos showed his arrival in a luxury vehicle worth more than most teachers' annual salaries, camera crews filming student reactions, and more focus on Shedeur than the children he was visiting. Cleveland media, notorious for their no-nonsense approach to athletes, pounced immediately. Media coverage highlighted the stark contrast in approaches. The Browns drafted a quarterback, but Sanders' team seemed to operate as if they drafted a celebrity. For Browns executives who took a chance on Sanders despite the red flags, the school visit controversy confirmed their worst fears. The Sanders family appeared more focused on building Shedeur's brand than developing his football career. Then, something unexpected happened. Primetime apologized. After the draft, Deion Sanders toned down his usual bombastic approach in media appearances, acknowledging the situation hadn't played out as expected. For a man whose career has been defined by unapologetic confidence, this more measured response stood out. The flamboyant Hall of Famer seemed to recognize the complexity of the situation they now faced. In post-draft interviews, Deion maintained that Shedeur was a first-round talent, but appeared more willing to consider how their approach to the process might have affected NFL teams' perceptions. The New York Post confirmed what many considered impossible: Deion declining interview requests about Shedeur's NFL future. Several NFL analysts suggested this outcome might ultimately benefit Shedeur's development. They pointed to examples of successful NFL quarterbacks who established their own identity separate from influential family figures to develop as leaders and professionals. Here's the twist in this story that no one's talking about. This draft slide might be the best thing that ever happened to Shedeur Sanders. He arrives in Cleveland with a chip on his shoulder. Expectations are lower than for first-round picks. He has time to develop behind veterans, and the Browns' decades-long quarterback carousel means opportunity is inevitable. For a player whose entire college career has been defined by his father's shadow, this fifth-round selection offers something unexpected: freedom to create his own identity. The NFL is filled with quarterback redemption stories. Fifth-round pick Dak Prescott became a franchise cornerstone. Sixth-rounder Tom Brady became the greatest of all time. If Shedeur can focus on football development, demonstrate independence from his father's influence, and let his play do the talking, he has the physical tools to make 31 NFL teams regret passing on him. The question is whether Shedeur, and more importantly, Deion, can embrace this unexpected path to NFL success. So what do you think is the truth here? Did NFL teams punish Shedeur for his father's actions, or were the concerns about his attitude legitimate? Drop your hottest takes in the comments. I read every single one. If this video gave you a different perspective on the Sanders draft saga, smash that like button and hit subscribe for daily NFL truth bombs that mainstream media won't tell you.